Okay, so everybody's gonna continue to log in. It looks like we got more people joining us now. So thank you all for joining us for the mastermind, this August mastermind. This is the third mastermind that we've actually had here at KW Central, and they've become very, very popular. And they're entertaining in the sense that you may hear my animals try to get into this room from time to time. You may see my children pop into it. So we just go with the flow and keep it as exciting as possible. So what I want to do first is I would like to have my panelists kind of go around and give me a little bit of history. So tell me about yourself, how long you've been in the real estate industry, and I don't know, maybe throw in like a fun fact about yourself that maybe we didn't know. That could be fun. We'll see how it goes. So for anybody that doesn't know, I'm the team leader. My name is Sarah Waters. KW Central, I've got a lot of our current agents locked in here, and then I think we have a few visitors kind of checking it out. So we're located in Richardson, Texas. We've got about a 13,000 square foot office space and approximately 360 absolutely fantastic agents. I put this panel together. They've all got different personalities, different experiences, and some talkative more than others. So we're just going to see where this discussion goes. If you've got any questions for our panelists, I just ask that you save it for the tail end of this session. There will be a time where I ask you to chime in, and you can either unmute yourself or you can put the question into the chat box, and I'll be reading that as we go. So if a question pops up and you don't want to forget about it, go ahead and put it in the chat box, and I'll try to ask it as I see everything pop up. All right, let's start with Miss Bonetta, because I see that you're unmuted right now, so you can jump right in. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
So, Bonetta Robbins, I have been a real estate agent for a year and a few weeks. Joined Keller Williams right off the bat, and probably the best decision I ever made. A fun fact for me is I was a welder in the Navy.
Ooh. That is a good fun fact. Yeah, and I was going to bring that up in a little bit. So good, you beat me to it. I love it. All right, Jeff Wolf, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jeff Wolf. Can y'all hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Wolf, been with Keller Williams this is my 13th year. I started at the other office when in Plano, and my mom was my business partner, who we've been doing this is going on our 39th year.
Wow.
And yeah, and I've always been Keller Williams Central 100%. So that's all I've ever been.
Awesome. Awesome. What's a fun fact about you?
I'm a lake rat. I love to go to the lake.
Oh, nice. Me too. That's a good fact right there. All right, Miss Nikki, why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Nikki Farrell. I'm in my 4th year of real estate. I've been with Keller Williams Central the whole time. I started the late quarter of 2016. I was awarded the Keller Williams Central Rookie of the Year. And in 2018, I was the Regional Rookie of the Year for North Texas, New Mexico, and Memphis. And I also had a great opportunity to present on the panel at the national conference, the Family Reunion Conference in 2018. So it's just been, real estate for me since I made the transition from corporate has been great.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy that you're with us today, but what's a fun fact? Give me a fun fact about Nikki.
Oh, fun fact. I love playing practical jokes on my family. So I'm a practical joker. They know I am, and no one would take a lottery ticket from me because they don't know if it is fake or not. So
now I know. Okay, that's good to know. Awesome. Thanks, Nikki. All right, Miss Bryn, last but not least, tell us about yourself.
Right. I'm Bryn Rogers, and I got my license in 2017, so just over 3 years in business. And I was Rookie of the Year also in 2019, the year after Nikki. So home with my boys for a long time, full time, and I jumped into real estate thinking it would be part-time for a while, and just jumped full throttle, went full time, and here I am. So fun fact is I homeschooled my boys all the way through from kindergarten, and now they're in college. So I was homeschooling before it was cool and before it was hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a mental breakdown today due to this whole virtual, schooling thing. So that's a kind of a perfect segue for me to kind of go into my first question. So Brent, I'm going to take it back to you for a second. Due to the pandemic, nearly all the families are having to homeschool their children, and it can be difficult when you're trying to work full time and also do real estate. So how did you balance your children's educational needs while being a successful real estate agent? I know that they're just going off to college, and so you're through it, but please help us that are in the thick of it right now, because we need all the help we can get.
My first year in business, my oldest son was a senior in high school and my younger son was a sophomore in high school. So we'd been homeschooling the whole time. I'll say that homeschooling, what I'm saying is homeschooling is not at all what you're experiencing right now with virtual schooling, where someone else is dictating your schedule and your curriculum, all of that. So for me, I thought that I was going to be mostly homeschooling and just doing a little bit of real estate. But when I got into business, everything took off, and I was crazy busy with real estate, and it ended up that I jumped full time pretty quickly. So for me, I would say I did not balance it at all. It felt more like staggering it through the day. So I think the word balance makes it seem like there's some sanity there and there's some planning, and that's not really how it was in real life. So I just staggered things. If I was home working and my boys needed help, then I would stop what I was doing, help them, and then go right back to real estate work. So Keller Williams is really big on time blocking. And that sounds really nice and pretty, that you can put that in a little package. And I really struggled with that, because you never can predict when your kids are going to need you. So for me, it feels more like time shuffling with homeschooling, with trying to stagger doing real estate work, and then your kids need you and you're just shuffling it around.
Yeah.
So that was my experience. I just went with the flow and staggered, and with my time and with my kids, what I was doing at home and work and with them.
Now, what about you, Jeff? I want to get your insight on this a little bit too, because I know that your kids are a little bit younger, or quite a bit younger. How are you handling all of this right now?
So mine has been chaos until about a week and a half ago. I have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old, so a second and fourth grader. And then I also have a wife that works from 6:45 a.m. until 5:15 p.m. every day, corporate job. So she locks herself in the door and then, comes out when it helps. But the thing that I've been really busy and blessed through the last couple of months, but what have found out that a lot of my clients are going through the same process. So we're going through this together. I think the last 4 or 5 of my clients have all had children homeschooling or interruptions. And so it's kind of like been the new norm for the last 3 or 4 months. And so they're used to the kid coming in the background, asking a question when you're on the phone. And I think, the good thing about it, a lot of people have understand and the interruptions and the unknowns are kind of here. And so that's kind of how I've ran my business. I've just kept plugging away. I'm on the kitchen counter and making my phone calls and connecting with people and still doing open houses. That frees up the weekend when my wife doesn't have to work, and allows me to go out and get those 2 days in to really show houses or hold them open. So that's kind of how I've been working it.
Yeah, it's interesting how we're all finding life balance in the chaos. And what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other. But I think that through all of it, the underlining message is to just stay calm as much as possible and try to find the positive in the chaos. So thank you, guys. I'm going to take it over to you, Nikki, for a minute. Networking is something that agents typically do. Okay, well now it's kind of hard to network. So, what networking groups do you currently belong to, if any at all? And do you believe that they add value to your business? And have you found ways, if you do belong to some, that they've been able to pivot through the pandemic and get into the virtual world?
Yes. I've been a part of networking. That was actually one of my main sources of lead gen, was networking and open houses. Then I am part of the Collin County Black Chambers of Commerce, and right now the Women's Council of Realtors of Texas, as well as the Southwest Dallas County, and a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. And so I'm active in those right now, even during the pandemic. And also some other networking groups, just mostly through, like you said, social media. Do I find them to be still relevant? Absolutely. Because now where we used to be prior to COVID, it was a great way for me to connect, build relationships. It just easily get referrals because of that connection, right? Well, now just being a part of the groups, most of the networking groups that I'm a part of, they're highlighting businesses. So they're taking initiatives to kind of ask for mini commercials. How can they put your business, spotlight your business? So a lot of the groups are taking different routes to help entrepreneurs keep their business out there and keep it in the face of different, to their audiences. So I still think it's a plus. It's just a different way, a different method that we're doing it in.
Now, I know that, some people may or may not know this, Keller Williams has got quite a few networking groups, even just within the company itself. What are some of those groups that you belong to, or that you've heard really great things about and that you would recommend?
Wow, there's a Keller Williams referral group. I would definitely recommend that if you can find it on Facebook. And it's just that, it's a nationwide group, and they will post if they're looking for leads, if they have leads and they're looking for someone in Dallas Fort Worth. I've gotten a lot of leads just for social media, just from these groups where they just refer, like, who do you know that's in real estate? And, people will refer you out. And it is definitely a challenge to make sure that you're the first person that connects and try to be creative in trying to draw their attention. I'm part of there's a lab coat agents, that's one. I am part of the Keller Williams Black Realtor Network. There's one that's specific for Black realtors, nationwide as well. There's a Real Estate Mastermind, and then there's the Pivot Shift Ahead. And so those are different groups that Keller Williams specifically have that I'm a part of. And I do find them to be very helpful if it's just to gain information. And I think that where we're all in silos right now, it's very helpful to be in those groups so that you can think outside the box or come up with different strategies on how to do your business, because we're not really connecting, as we would if we were in the office.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that there's a profit share mastermind Facebook page as well. There's always a lot of very inspiring posts on that page, and they even have leadership, for the team leaders, so that we can try to come up with solutions to any problems that any market center might have. And so there is definitely a lot. Bonetta, I know that you also belong to some networking groups as well. And so have you all been connecting virtually? Is that how it's being structured right now?
Yeah, so when COVID hit, I have two major networking groups that I'm a part of. And we just took our meetings to Zoom immediately. So I'm part of the Dallas chapter of the United States Veteran Chamber. And then I have a networking group that I've been networking with for quite some time now. And my smaller networking group, we actually started meeting in person again, because there's usually 10 or less of us that actually show. And then we Zoom everyone else into the meetings. But for the most part, all of my meetings have been on Zoom.
Okay. Where do you recommend, so Nikki, you had mentioned, social media, especially if you're currently with KW, being able to search those groups, but Bonetta, where do you recommend that somebody goes to find networking groups that aren't necessarily associated with Keller Williams?
Meetup is actually the best. There's an app, and
Nikki's going like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the best, because you can search according to it helps you connect better to groups that have something in common with you. Because when you join a group, you don't just want to join some random group. If you're looking for a referral group, you can adjust your search to be referral based. There's also a difference in groups on if they have exclusive chairs. So like my one networking group that I've been with for a long time, we are an exclusive chair group. So there's only one residential real estate agent in my group. There's only one lender. There's only one of each chair. Some other groups don't have that restriction. And so then you have multiple realtors, because realtors, we love to network. It's the best way to create relationships and develop those relationships. But Meetup is really the best way. You can still find a lot of them on Facebook too, because like our group, we have a Facebook page and we send out our invites to our events, and we put those events on Facebook and look for people to come and join our events.
Okay.
So, but Meetup is the #1 place.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for that information.
Can I add also Eventbrite too, Sarah?
Oh, Eventbrite?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you go on Eventbrite and just do a search of different events that are maybe going on in that month, you can also find groups there and just start connecting with the organizer and you know, and continue to, you know, find out what they're doing. Put it on your calendar to find out. But Eventbrite is another good source too, as far as Meetup too.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Let's take it to Mr. Jeff Wolf for a second. So you run a successful team with your mother, which I think is just fantastic. I love it when, you know, parents and child work together. I don't think of you as a child, but you know what I mean. But I know that you specialize in the Canyon Creek area specifically. Would you suggest that agents focus their efforts to one particular area, or do you think that it's best to spread yourself out as much as possible?
It depends on how you want to run your business. And when I have these conversations in these smaller masterminds, or if I have a new agent that comes and asks me how they should go approach their business, for me, I'm connected to my neighborhood. And I'm also connected to my city, Richardson. I've been in Richardson my entire life, with an exception of 1 year. And I've gone through school districts. I've been through that. So what I try to tell agents is that for me, we have a nice farming system that's been created for about 35 years, 38 years, that has been consistent. And what happens, it's another way to network within your community. And you can participate in HOA boards, you can participate in fundraisers, you can participate in elementary schools, PTAs, you can send door hangers, you can send postcards. And what it's allowed for us is that we have a continuous supply of opportunities to keep our names out there, keep meeting people, and we do get business from it. And when times are tough, and if I'm traveling out to, say, Salina, and then I'm going out to Fort Worth, and then I have to go to Forney, and then I jump up to Wiley, I'm not really building that kind of a communication or that setup in my system that I want. I'm really doing a volume system of real estate, and that's fine. A lot of people are very successful at it. I don't like to travel very far, so I try to keep it within 10 to 15 miles from maybe where the office is. And that allows me to focus more, especially in the neighborhood of Canyon Creek, of being a specialized agent.
Okay.
And I think that's the key thing that comes back to clients. They say, well, what do you know about Canyon Creek? Well, let me tell you about Canyon Creek. And then I can go, I've been there for 25 years. I got 2 kids that have gone to school. I've gone through the RSD system, and I can go through this entire 30-minute conversation with somebody. And I think it makes it more attractive to some clients when you're having that conversation across the table that says, okay, this person understands this neighborhood where my house is lying in, and this is somebody that I might want to go with.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it definitely helps. And I know that we've got some other agents that are actually on this call as well that find success in doing that same thing. And I think it's really important, especially during, COVID, since we are kind of at home a lot, to be able to stay very connected with the neighborhoods that we live in, and market ourselves in that way. So thanks for sharing, Jeff. Bryn, I see you and Jeff meeting with another, quite a few of the top producers in our office, typically about once a week, I think. When did you all start those meetings, and how have they impacted your business? What was the reason for you all getting together in the beginning?
We started in April of 2019. So Jeff, doesn't that sound like a long time? It's hard to believe.
A month in 2020 feels like a very long time.
There are 5 of us, and we meet every week, and it's probably been the thing in my business that's created the most encouragement and support for me of anything else. So we get together, and it's about sharing and what's going on in each other's lives, what's going on in business. So we share success, and then we help each other with challenges, questions, how would you handle this client, this situation, or just business strategy even. So at this point, it's really neat for me because it's both professional, it's, business related, but it's also personal. I mean, there have been times when one of us comes in and is really down. There was a time at the beginning of the year where it felt like I wasn't going to get any business at all for the whole year, and things kept going wrong. And they were the ones that really supported me and lifted me up and encouraged me and just kept me going, really.
Yeah.
So, we have a text thread, if you're in the middle of writing a contract and you don't know how you would handle something or what you should do in some kind of negotiation, we'll text each other. So we help each other outside of that all the time too. It's been a really neat blessing for me.
That's awesome. And, I think in a lot of ways you guys inspired us. Julia Lachey is our director of training and coaching, and she had a lot of experience with accountability groups and the success that they had in her other market center back when she was her living in Texas. And so for any of you that are on this call right now and you're not aware of this, but at our market center, we have accountability groups that we place about 5 to 6 people, different experience levels, but tend to kind of have the same overall energy. And they meet once a week via Zoom, and it's great because it's free. And like Bryn was describing, it's a way for you to talk about your struggles. We call it the big rocks, and talk about the goals that you're looking to achieve. And all of a sudden you have this group of individuals that are there to support you, much like a family. And I know that Bonetta is in a really fun group, and I believe Nikki, are you in an accountability group as well? Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Yes, I did. I was in it for about 3 months, and then just recently discontinued it, but we still text each other.
Good. What are you thinking about the accountability group so far, Bonetta?
I'm actually loving it. I have the amazing pleasure of being in a group with 3 other incredible agents, one being our Miss Jan Webb, and they are just being a newer agent, having them there supporting me, sharing their knowledge, offering help. But then, the cool flip side of it is, even though I'm a new agent, I have a lot of experience with command and all of our back end office stuff. And so at some point I'll be able to give my support for them. But it's not just about business, it's about personal too. We support each other in our personal goals and our business goals. And just being able to start the week off talking to them and saying what we need to accomplish to have a successful week, and then seeing how each other's weeks went, it's just a great feeling. It just more sense of a community, especially now during COVID.
Yeah, these are all run by Julia, and she's really great about keeping everybody on track. She, makes sure that you've got your 411 or your 30, 60, 90. And I know I'm speaking in Kellerisms right now. So if you're not currently with Keller Williams, 30, 60, 90 is what's your 30-day, your 60-day, your 90-day goal. And the accountability group comes together to just make sure that you're on track for achieving all of those goals that you have in place. So I've been really excited to see the success. We see it in the numbers in the production level. I mean, Bryn, you were talking about being concerned about, business declining due to, the pandemic. And I'm going to take this over to Jeff for a second, because I have a question for you, because we had so much uncertainty about how the real estate industry was going to be affected by the pandemic. I mean, we were all preparing for the worst, but was it a surprise to you that the DFW area is currently breaking real estate sales records in the month of July and August? I mean, July was the best numbers that our market center had seen in the 13-year history that we have been open. And we are on track to beating those records again this month. So what do you, was it a surprise to you? And also, I want to know if you have any market predictions for 2020. I want to know if you have that, like, magic ball that you can tell us what you think is going to happen.
No magic ball, but this is one of the things we do talk about in our masterminds, our small mastermind groups. And I do talk to other people that are in other areas and other industries and what they're seeing. And I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think you have people that were, unfortunately, at first, yes, I'm surprised that we were as this strong coming into June, July, and August. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a mixture of things. I think there's some people that, had to sell. I think some people came in that were in closed quarters, stay closer today, maybe in a townhome complex, or maybe uptown, that wanted to get further out to the suburbs because they didn't know if they were going to be quarantined for longer periods of time. And they didn't want to be in a small space. They wanted to be in a larger space. So I think there's a lot of factors that went into the spur. Interest rates were going down. I talked to somebody this morning just on a refi. They quoted me 2.35% on a 15. And, and they even talked about it might go down further. So, who knows what's going to happen. And so when you have a lot of those combinations in there, you have a lot of different factors that people are sitting and waiting to see what happens. So one might say, I'm waiting for the interest rates to go down, or I need to get out of this apartment, or I need to get out of this townhome. I talked to some people that were talking about possibly even buying a house now because they were afraid that they were going to get furloughed or get let go. So do it now while they still have the job. And, so who knows what, there's probably a lot of factors that go into this. And then certainly now for the future, I think we're going to be pretty strong. I think we're going to probably have a slow dip or a slowdown in the market when we come up to the elections. For people, they're just going to know what's going to happen. They're just going to sit and pause. And then I think it's going to spur back up over Christmas and January. It's going to depend on what kind of winter we have this year too. If we have a really, really cold winter, things probably slow down. But if it's a mild winter, I think people are going to still be out there buying, because I think the interest rates are going to still drive some of that market.
Yeah. Well, it's 2020. We could totally have 100-degree November. I mean, nothing surprises me at this point. But no, I think you make a lot of really valid points. And, you're right about this rumbling and this talking about interest rates even going lower than what they're currently at, which is just crazy to a lot of us. But it has been a very interesting year. I've been in real estate for a very long time. I grew up in it, and I'm used to the ups and the downs, and I'm used to the political uncertainty of the election years and expecting things to kind of pause for a bit. But this year has just been really surprising, and so far, at least with real estate, in a very positive way. So thank you for that, Jeff. Okay, Miss Nikki, I'm going to take it to you for a second again. I see you post about exercising all day. No, every day on Facebook. Nikki's got to post it. She's talking about the exercise routine that she's working in. And, I think that we all agree that exercise can create habits, and that those habits tend to benefit your schedules and your daily goals, which then can impact your business in a very positive way. So do you believe that the current exercise regimen that you are going through has played a part in your overall tone to work and the success that you're having today?
Yes, I definitely do. We were talking about the accountability groups, and we talked about in the accountability groups, we set out what our big rock is. We set out our productivity goals, and my personal goals were generally centered around exercise. making sure when I start my day, it's prayer and meditation, and a minimum of 30 minutes daily walk. One from a perspective of just getting focused. And we talk about setting goals. We talk about, the 1-3-5. There's always like a weight loss fitness goal, especially during the pandemic when we all gained weight. So that COVID-19, so it keeps me focused to make sure that I don't get to that point. But it is kind of, it's been the same principle that I've, kind of used, like you said, building that habit, because I knew I wanted to lose a certain amount of weight. I knew it was for health reasons. And I was, first thing in the morning, I'm like, let's do, make sure I do my 30 minutes and, eat healthy or whatever. These are the one thing, of course, is the goal, the health goal. And then those 3, eating healthy, working out, meditation, where's my 3. And then those things that I do in between was a 5 to accomplish that goal. Well, you think about it, the same principle applies to the business. So when I look at what am I trying to accomplish, 5 listings or wanting to get so many listings, and what does that look like? Okay, how do I set up my day for calls and connects, appointments to, get my listings? So it's the same parallel. So it has truly helped me because I refresh, I focus, and when I finish my workout, I'm energized, I'm ready to go. So yeah, I think the exercise portion of it has definitely helped me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been doing the same thing lately, and you're right. Everything that you're talking about is right. It is just about kind of rebooting your brain and getting it into, I mean, this goes back to what Bryn was saying too, about the time blocking. And, you have to cut out time to, okay, I may only have enough time in my week to work out 3 days a week, but it's more than what I was doing before. And what are the other things that I can do that can support the other goals that I have? So, well, I'm proud of you. You motivate me. I see your posts and I'm like, okay, I can do it.
And here's another beautiful thing that came out of it. Even it was Julia Price, who's also an agent that's in our office. She was kind of my accountability partner. We would just say, hey, did you work out? One of our friends started a Facebook group, and it was just the 3 of us, 4 of us, just kind of keeping track of each other. And now the group has grown to over 50 people.
Wow.
That just wanted to join, to stay encouraged, to motivate. And every day we just ask you to post a picture of your workout. Just post a picture.
Awesome. Well, and then that in itself is another networking group right there.
It becomes a networking group. Exactly. That's exactly what happens. So I've gotten a couple of leads even from that group. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. That's fantastic. Congrats. Miss Bonetta, you're also a big workout person as well, but that's not what I was going to ask you about. You mentioned in the beginning that you just had your 1-year anniversary of being in this wonderful world that we call real estate. Knowing what you know now, what is the one thing that you wish that you would have done back at day number 1?
I wish that I wouldn't have been so scared to reach out to my sphere and let them know what I was doing, to start building my database immediately. Yeah. Having phone conversations with people that you haven't talked to in anywhere from a year to 8 years. I've lived all over DFW, from, Wiley to Capel, where I am now, and a whole bunch of places in between. And, if I really feel that I held myself back in that first 6 months by not reaching out to the people who I knew would support me and who would be happy to refer others to me and help support my business.
Now, speaking of the clients that you work with, you're a realtor, but as you mentioned earlier as well, you're also a veteran. So, you often work with veterans. I've noticed that as well. Is this an important aspect to your business goals? Because I know it's a part of your branding that you use in social media and your business cards. So obviously, I think I just answered that. It's an important aspect, but why? Why is it so important?
Well, we have a very large veteran community. And when I was doing National Charity League with my daughter, we went downtown a lot. And our homeless rates are really high for veterans in the US. And not only that, but people don't realize, as an enlisted person, not an officer, but an enlisted person, our pay is not really that much. So a lot of times we are below national average for household income. And some of those are even at almost a poverty level for income. You know, the military, you don't have a ton of pay. Now, if you become a lifer, you move up in the ranks, your pay grade increases. That's a different story when you're retiring and getting that at retirement. But it's really important for me to help veterans have home ownership because it's an investment. Owning a home is one of the best investments you can make. And right now proves why. Our stock markets have had so many bad things have been going on. I have person after person after person coming to me and wanting to start investing in property because they are losing money in the market. And so, you know, it's really important to make sure that we get our veterans, we have so many great programs for them. They can get into a home with zero down. Yeah. And we can get assistance to help pay their closing costs. And we just need to make sure that we're having them use their benefits to their full advantage. Yeah. Because a lot of them don't understand what all we have out there for them.
Yeah, there's so many. I'm married to a lender, and so I know there's so many programs out there to help. And so it is good that you're calling attention to that. And, you know, Ernie chatted in for a second. He said, not today because the stock market's good today. And it is. It's fantastic right now. And then we have like the yo-yo of 2020 of just not knowing which way things are going to go. And the one thing that, you know, yes, even with real estate, it's up and down. We all know it. It's up and down. But you know, there are always good investments to be had. And so I appreciate, first, I appreciate your service. And two, I appreciate everything that you do with the veterans. So thank you very much for that. Let's see, what, you know, I want to, before I open it up to questions for everybody that's, you know, logged in right now, I'd like to ask you all, what advice would you give to new agents that are coming into not only our market center, but just that are coming into the real estate industry today? Because there's a lot of you know, brand new agents that are going through schooling right now. We're meeting with them daily. So I'll start with you, Bryn. What advice would you give them?
I think the number one thing is to be connected and to find a really good support system. So our market center obviously is my favorite way to do that. Things like the networking group, the accountability group, I think that's really important because now especially there's not as much stuff going on in the market center with classes. So if you can be part of an accountability group, at least then you know you have a small group of people that are more experienced than you that can help you. So for me, that really was critical when I had questions or when I was trying to figure out what to do. So I would say the networking group, the support group, something like that you can have. And then just in our market center, the classes, the learning opportunities that you have, for me, that was so important starting out. So that's why I chose not just Keller Williams, but our market center specifically, because I felt like there was a lot of energy and support and encouragement and people cheering me on.
Yeah, we do have a very energetic office, and it's been so hard with everybody not in the office as much as they used to be, but I think we're at least, you know, finding ways to pivot through it. It's been nice that we've been able to do these Zoom formats. You know, all of our classes are now, they're now filmed, and so we've got the Zoom as well as in-person options. Can we link the, oops, hold on, I'm looking at my chat bar really quick, bear with me, guys. Can we link the accountability, like in Facebook? Oh, like the accountability? I think it was a typo from Andrea, or Andrea. I'm sorry, it's Andrea. There's no way to like the accountability group. Like if you want to talk to Julia Price about potentially putting a group together or joining a group, you just reach out to her, and if she's got a spot open, she'll fill that spot in, or she'll create a new group for you. That will kind of reach out to a few people to see if they want to join as well. And again, guys, it's totally free. And the production level for the accountability groups, I mean, Bill probably knows the numbers offhand better than I do because he's the numbers guy. But they are producing at a very high level. Same with the agents that are in the coaching program right now as well. We're seeing fantastic things. Maggie Dieter, she was on our mastermind last month. She's just been doing phenomenal. So it's been fantastic to see. So Jeff, can you answer that same question for me? What advice would you give to new agents right now?
I would advise to master lead generation. Basically, if you want to get paid, you need to have a lead.
Yeah.
And if you can master lead generation or lead generating, as well as creating a system around that. And then second, always have a positive attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I think the combination of those three things will get you a great start. There's so much stuff out there for people to learn, to tack on. So start small, pick a couple of items, pick a lead generating tool, farming, door knocking, networking, start there and then let it kind of grow. Get a system down of once you get that lead of how you're going to work it, how you put it in the system, how you create the contracts, if it's a buyer or seller or a lease, and then how do you get to the closing table and then start all over. Start simple, but master lead generating, and it'll take you to where you need to go.
Yeah, we're actually going to be putting on a lot more training in regards to lead gen. So, we have lead gen every Wednesday, where a different member of our ALC runs that. But then we're also going to have Clayton Acker do a class. He actually wrote a book. I don't know if you guys realize this, but he wrote a book on lead gen. And so he's going to teach a class. We're hoping to have that on the calendar in September. But you're right. I mean, lead generation is everything. And I love that you said the positive attitude as well, because so many people right now are going, it's a pandemic, it's COVID, everything shut down. I can't connect with people. I can't lead generate. Well, that's not true, because we just talked about it earlier with all of the networking groups that are available. And, we've got a great way for you to stay organized with all of your classes or with all of your contacts through Command. And I know that that's still developing every day. There's more improvements happening. So I agree with you 100%. What about you, Bonetta? I know you're unmuted right now. What suggestions do you have?
Well, I would say whether you're with Keller Williams or another brokerage, find out if they have any kind of coaching program, because I know with our Keller Williams Central, not only do we have a great coaching program for brand new agents, but we also offer a little bit different of a commission split to help them take advantage of that coaching program. And I really think that had I come in and used a coach for my first few transactions to really help me focus lead gen and walk through the transactions, I think it would have been very beneficial for me. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I say, I agree with everything everyone else has said so far, but I also feel like as we're dealing with real estate, and it's my favorite bold law, and it's to come from contribution. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking to your leads, when you're talking to your sphere, give them something and always be contributing something to them. And when you are giving to them, they will want to give back to you. Yeah. So we have to come with a giving heart, come from contribution.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that is really, the bold laws and the culture within KW is really important. And I'm very proud of our office and the culture that we have. And it's inspiring to me to see every day. And you're right about the coaching. We talked, Bonetta, you and I have talked about that quite often, of you knowing that your production level probably would have been drastically changed if you would have started working with a coach. But what's good about it is, you got your 1 year anniversary done. And so you're starting fresh here, and you know what you have in the horizon. And I love that you're goal oriented. You're like, I'm going to have this much production level by December. And there's no way that you're not going to accomplish that, because, you just won't let that happen. And you are putting the proper tools in place to make sure that that happens with the accountability group and with the coaching. And I work with a coach. I just started working with a MAPS coach a couple of weeks ago. And it's almost just in having those discussions with your coach, everything just comes into fruition. I had these goals that I wanted to hit, and it's not that I was necessarily doing anything different that I could pinpoint. I think it was just that I put it out there. This is what this is the numbers I'm gonna hit. This is, what I want to accomplish. This is the production, level that, I want to see for our new agents and our top 20% and the middle 60. When you start talking about those goals and what you want everybody to achieve, it really does get you into the right mindset to make sure that that actually does happen. So I'm so excited for you this year. You're going to have a great year. So, Well, Nikki, what about you? Do you have anything that you would suggest for new agents?
Just to piggyback off of what Jeff said, I think as a new agent, don't recreate the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
All the information that you're needing specifically, and I'm biased because I've only been with Keller Williams, but I chose Keller Williams because of the training curriculum that they offer. You know, if you're spending the first year, you know, wanting to get a lot of sales and it's not happening, spend that time to read the MREA book. Study the lead generation 36-12-3. You know, profit first. Build your systems in the process is why you have that downtime, because that is what's going to keep your business consistent. So for me, that's what I think is a plus, because we want to come in and just start, you know, getting contracts and getting business, which is great, but the consistency behind it is your systems, how you're going to build your business. And so I agree with Jeff that the focus should definitely be on systems and processes, and then your lead generation will be what I would recommend for a new agent.
Yeah. It's, you know, we talk about it a lot, but it goes down to, it's like what you just mentioned with the MREA. It all comes back to that, because it's written down, it's structured out, and it's successful. And exactly, don't reinvent the wheel. I think it's really important for new agents. You know, there's a couple of books that we always recommend, MREA and then The One Thing. You know, those are two just great books about getting your mind situated properly to go down this crazy roller coaster path that you're going to go down that's called real estate. So if you haven't read those books already, definitely get your hands on them because they're worth it.
And the beauty of it is it's not Keller Williams specific. So if there's you know, agents on here from other brokers, they don't have to be like, oh, that's Keller Williams. No, it's principle. It's truly a principle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what brokerage you're with. Everybody collectively agrees that the MREA is like the real estate manual. And it just, you know, it really doesn't matter where you're at. It's just, that's the case. So I want to, you know, we've got about 12 minutes left. And so I want to open things up and see if anybody's got some questions for our awesome panelists here. I'm going to put Bill Webb on the spot here for a second, because he's our OP, and he, you know, I like to pick on him sometimes. So Bill, do you have any questions you want to ask these panelists today?
Yeah, I think probably one thing, and some of you probably participated, some of you may not have. We've had a program based around how to do lead generation called Never Ending Referrals. And if anybody on the webinar tonight has been on that, been a part of that Never Ending Referrals training, I'd be curious to get any kind of feedback you had about that.
I don't think nobody's been a part of it. Well, there you go.
Okay, well, we've got a nice field of right people.
Well, we need to reintroduce that, Bill.
It's a really good program.
I'd be happy to talk about that.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Christine,
Christine.
can you give us some information about that?
So I was part of the beta group for that, and it's amazing. And what I love about it is that it helps you organize your database. It helps you have, now that we have Command, that you have, it upgrades your health meter on your database too. So it helps you organize your database. It helps you touch on your database at least quarterly. And to do it through campaigns, through Facebook, it's really an amazing tool to help you reach out to your sphere of influence, to your whole database, and to keep yourself relevant. And I think it's an integral part of every agent's training. It's a wonderful tool to help you lead generate.
That's great. I think we'll have to get some more information out just for anybody that might be new to the Market Center or doesn't have information on that in particular.
Yeah, I think we can revive that again. It's an 8-week program. It comes up once a week. It's about an hour and a half long. And I'll be glad to moderate it. And if there's anybody on here from another brokerage that would like to participate, just let Sarah know and we'll get you included in it, and no cost to you.
Awesome. Yeah, we've got some other opportunities, you know, coming up to the Market Center as well. And you guys, please feel free, if you've got any questions, you can put them in the chat box here, and I'm keeping an eye on them. We're working on something at our Market Center to try to create leverage, more leverage for our agents. It's called Leverage Plus, and the entire leadership team has been working very hard on this. Pretty soon we're going to be having a print shop within the Market Center where the leadership team will actually design any flyers, door hangers, you know, business cards, even if you need them, and then we'll be able to print them in-house. And what's great about it is it's a straight pass-through cost. So nothing's upcharged at all. It's just whatever the cost of the printing is, that's going to be, you know, the cost to the agent. We're also going to have a TC capabilities in-house. Actually, Christine, who just chimed in a minute ago, she's been doing a phenomenal job working on TC, and we're going to be offering that at a discounted rate. We're also working on putting together a sign placement and, you know, your lockbox options on it. So Bill and I and the rest of the leadership team, we're trying to constantly think outside of the box and add more value to our agents. And so right now this is being rolled out to the ALC at first, just so we can work out any kinks, and then it's going to be opened up to the top 20%, and then it's going to be opened up to our entire roster. Our goal for that is hopefully by November 1st, have it be opened up to the entire roster. Bonetta, can you think of any other added value pieces that you would like to see? This is where we get to be real, we get to be honest and communicate with each other, that you would like to see on top of what's already being done at our office?
Honestly, I really don't think so. The fact that we have showing assistants now, and we have the TC coming up, the printing and the design, I mean, that's a huge added value. And even though I'm newer and I'm probably not as busy as some of the other folks on here, just knowing that if I need someone to go show a house, I, as a single person, you know, newer in the business, have access to ask someone to go show a house for me. And being able to hire the transaction coordinator at such a reduced rate, so that if I do get piled up with, you know, multiple deals going on at one time, I have that opportunity, even, you know, being a smaller operation than someone who's more seasoned in the business.
Yeah, that's totally our goal. And for anybody that doesn't know about what she's talking about with a showing assistant, we decided to put together a certification program for any new agents that are coming into the Market Center, or just agents that are interested in being showing assistants. So a lot of times you'll be working with clients and you'll have so much going on. Maybe there's a family emergency that came up, and we were seeing this on our KW Central Solutions Facebook page, that people kept asking, hey, can somebody show my clients a couple homes this weekend? Hey, I've got a showing in Fort Worth, I can't make it to it. And it was the #1 thing that we were seeing on the Facebook page. So we decided to have this certification class. Guys, it was such a fun class. It was only supposed to be an hour. They ended up having so much fun with it that it went on for 2 hours. Bonetta was in there. I think Hunter, who's on this call, he was in there. Everybody was laughing and having such a great time. And so what's going to happen now is that any of the agents that are interested in being showing assistants that went to that class are going to be put on our, we have a private app that's just for our office. And so their pictures, their name, their contact number will be listed in the app. And so anytime somebody's looking for someone to show properties to their clients, you're going to know that those agents have been trained properly to be professional, to be on time, how to handle certain safety. I mean, we were talking about safety. There was a number of things that we were talking about. So you can feel confident that anyone that's listed is going to take care of your clients. And what's great about it is for new agents, you know, we ask that anyone that's going to be a showing assistant gets paid $25 per house, unless the agents are able to negotiate something maybe for bulk pricing if there's multiple showings. So it's a great way to get cash in pocket for new agents that are just coming in, plus get experience. Nothing comes through the Market Center. It's just paid agent to agent. But the key to it is that you know that your clients are going to be treated professionally. And if somebody doesn't do a good job at showing a particular property, we're just going to kindly remove them from the app and maybe encourage them to go through the class again. So that's something that we did last week, and I think it was a huge success, and I'm really excited to see what's going to be done with it. Are any of my panelists, are you guys planning on going to Mega Camp? Yeah, awesome, awesome. Okay, for anybody that's on the call right now that isn't familiar, we've got Mega Camp coming up in September. It's September 15th through the 17th, and it's all virtual. So that's exciting. So if you're not currently with KW and you want some information about what Mega Camp is, it's a lot of great education, breakout panels. I mean, they've found ways to put a vendor hall together virtually. I don't even understand how they're going to do it, but somehow they figured it out. And so that's coming up very quickly. And so we would love to see as many people participate in that as possible.
One of the things I noticed today, they had a preview of it on a call that I was on, and this is not Zoom for 3 days. This is a true virtual experience. You're going to be able to get with smaller groups in dropout rooms and get together and network with people of like volume, like traits in their business. And I tell you, I'm really excited about this thing. It's going to be great. So even if you can only come for half a day just to try it out, let Sarah know. We'll get you signed up.
Yeah, we'll get you participating in that. So thanks for sharing that, Bill. Well, guys, I appreciate you all so much. I feel like we were talking about some good topics today, and I'm excited to share this video out. Does anybody have any parting thoughts? There's
yeah, I have one. I think for the new agents and some of the agents that aren't with Keller Williams Central in our office, if they're on, is that we're a unique brokerage. We're a unique office. And you know, Bonetta's probably finding that out right now. I love it when you have agents that are with us and then they go see if the grass is greener on the other side and then they come back. But we're really a tight knit, functioning organization that wants to help each other be successful in the real estate world. And that's really who we are and what we're about. And even having these buyer assistants, showing assistants, if we were all really, really smart, we would leverage this opportunity to grow our businesses outside of our norms. So if the Wolf team is only doing Richardson, Plano, you know, small surrounding areas, Murphy or something like that, and I want to start spreading my, you know, opportunity to grow my business maybe to Carrollton or Louisville, wherever it is I don't really want to go to, or Salina or Prosper, you know, these are opportunities that you can connect with one of these showing assistants. And, you know, if they're showing, you know, you sell 2 or 3 houses through them and you're making some good money, they could be making some serious money themselves. And if their business is down, so there's an opportunity that you can look at it a different way. So don't look at it as a showing assistant as, you know, somebody that doesn't want to do the business. Maybe they're really good at it, and maybe they're going to make that really successful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there's a lot of different aspects to it that, you know, initially when we first started it up, we were just like, well, this will just be a way to kind of give people direction with the posts that they're making on the Facebook page. But it's really kind of grown into so much more than that. So I'm excited to see where things go. And as always, we're open to hearing more suggestions and ideas. You know, the beautiful thing about Keller Williams is each office is run by agents for agents. So, you know, Bill and I are just here to support everybody. We always want to hear all of your ideas. And, you know, if there's a way for us to make it happen, it's going to happen. So, well, guys, I want to thank you all so much for joining us for this awesome August mastermind. I can't wait to September. So next month, we're going to be doing a mastermind on a recap of everything that happened at Mega Camp. So that's why I wanted to bring it up earlier. So our panelists are going to be talking about all the awesome things that happen at Mega Camp. So be sure to join us again for that. And if you have any questions about Keller Williams Central, just reach out to me. My email is teamleader@centralkw.com. So thanks, guys. Have a beautiful night.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye.